Hey, Steve Basic Architect. Yeah, welcome back. So, we have a house we worked on years ago in the background there. Obviously, it's not in the best of shape. The blower door on this house, I don't know, it was probably 20 plus. Air changes per hour at 50 pascals. Yeah, it was basically air open. It was equal to, taking one of these double hungs, opening it up and just leaving it open year round. It wasn't insulated very well. And it was definitely a candidate for some new siding and a little TLC. All right. So back when we did this, we had a number of programs in the state up here in Massachusetts that were Deep Energy Retrofits. Deep Energy Retrofits. And we used to just call them DER. Now, we've come to understand that maybe what we did here is not exactly what we should have done, because it's a pretty costly event for the return on that investment. But I guess one of the points that I want to make here is, this is a house, I would say this is probably, 1940s or something like that, maybe a little older, 1930s. So obviously they didn't have the ability to make all the greatest decisions there because they didn't have a lot of the materials. But the reality is that I drive by and I see houses get built today with the technology and materials we have today, and they are just getting built to just such a low standard. It's absolutely, the people building it, designing it, and purchasing it should be literally embarrassed to what they're putting on this beautiful land. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about it. So this is a before. A couple things to call out here. Notice we have some really nice big overhangs. We have some nice big rakes here. So adding to the outside, it got a little thin here. And even in the dormer, we still had a little bit of space there. We had a little bit of difficulty. We have the attached porch on the front there, but nothing that we couldn't overcome in understanding some details. So what did we do here? Well, we came in, we stripped off all of the siding, and then we did 4 inches of polyiso on the outside of the wall. So obviously the wall is drying inward, right? Because the polyiso isn't going to allow the wall to dry outward. Notice we have a whole series of furring strips, and then our new siding, our trim, we have new windows, but we do have a rain screen. And in the future, I'll do a video on how we dealt with the windows, because it was actually a pretty intriguing series of decisions that we made there to leave the old windows in, remove the sashes and such, and then build the new window extension jambs off of the existing stuff in there. So we never really touched any of the trim package on the inside. All the work here was primarily done from the outside. Here you can just see a close-up. It's a lot of stuff that we would normally do. You can see we have our rain screen, right? What's my favorite words? Down and out. Right? Drain that water. Notice even our windowsill, that drains down there. These are triple glazed. So not only are we upgrading the siding or exterior wall assembly, we've also proportionally upgraded the windows there. I want to say these were probably equal to like R 5.5, something like that. They weren't exactly the very best, but they did well. And then, of course, you know, we have all of our flashings there. We have it open here so we can drain. You know, you've seen some of my videos where I've caught people, they put in horizontals in there. And then this is just the cement board siding. Right. Not a whole lot of magic there. And again, we use the Tough R polyiso here, same stuff that we would use in the basement. Notice also we taped all of the joints are taped. All right, so, and then at the bottom of the wall, again, down and out, right? That has the ability to drain out old granite, stone foundation. Notice the insect screen. So basically what's happening there is we have our face of sheathing, and then we attach the screen, and then it comes out and it goes up in front of our furring strip there. So that keeps what potentially I don't think is a problem, but it does keep bugs and critters and stuff from migrating up into that 3/4 inch space. Let's talk a little bit 3/4 inch space. You know, we use that quite often. All right. Anybody know what the minimum is? The minimum, and I believe it equates to 10 millimeters is what Canada uses. But what it basically equates to is 3/8 of an inch is the minimum. And the reason for that, anybody know? Give you a second to think about it. Well, if I have a surface here and here, and that distance is 3/8 of an inch or greater, then a water droplet will fall to gravity. It can't suspend itself in a 3/8 inch space. It falls down. If I make that space 1/4 of an inch, then the problem with that is water can safely sit in there and bridge that 1/4 inch space. Now, it'll eventually, gravity will rule, it'll fall down as water builds up and the weight overcomes its ability to adhere to the sides of that rain screen, and it will drain. We've done, you know, 1/8 inch spaces and poured water in and it drains, but that's because you have the weight of the water behind it. So I just like to, you know, here in New England, we call this ceiling strapping. It's basically 2.5 inches by 3/4. We use it to strap our ceilings, but it becomes really nice wood strapping to put on the outside. And if you notice, it is not treated. A lot of people always ask, well, does it have to be treated? No, it's drying all the time. You know, one of the beauties of the 3/4 inch that, say, a 3/8 inch space doesn't have is, while it has the ability to drain, it also has the ability to dry, right? You can get a good airstream moving up through that 3/4 inch space. So it is a drain and dry system. So it works to your benefit in both directions, in that it drains the bulk water and then it dries any of the moisture-induced components of the wall assembly within that cavity. So it works very, very well for that 3/4 of an inch. It's a piece of wood that we can go to the lumberyard, get 16 footers all day in bundles, use it. They're rather inexpensive. And again, they don't have to be treated because it is always drying, always, always, always drying, right? Things can get wet as long as they can dry. And then, of course, there you have it. The facelift completed. So we, I think it was successful. Certainly looks a lot better than that very first photo when it was in dire need of a facelift. And so we turned it around, we gave it a facelift, and cleaned it all up. And you can see we still have some decent overhangs there. We used up a little bit of it, but not a whole lot of it. Now we have new windows, and the homeowners have an extremely comfortable house to live in now, right? That has better air quality, better comfort, better health. And, if I make all of those decisions and durability, then I get energy efficiency as a byproduct. Now, while some of you might think that the whole drive here is, oh, let's do energy efficiency, and then that gives you the ability to tie it directly to, the monthly gas bill and say, see, look at it, it's going to take you, 92 years to get this to pay back. Yeah, if you do that kind of math. But if you talk about, hey, what is the maintenance program on this house now? Probably next to nothing. I bet you that paint job lasts 20 years. Now, with that rain screen system on it, we have houses that I know of that are in excess of 20 years. The house that I'm in here, our siding is probably a 12+ year old paint job, and it looks brand new. So, there's those kinds of intangibles, and the comfort and the air quality and the health. People are sleeping better. They're enhancing their lives. And so it is just a kind of better place to live. Anyways, that's our DER, Deep Energy Retrofit, that we did a few years ago. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Till next time, I'm Steve Basic Architect. Yeah, great example. Long live our buildings.